What can you tell us that we need to know?
Well, it's amazing how fast the media got the details of this matter. I think you've got the information. You know who it is. It was a guy who, while former president was golfing at his golf course, put a AK-47 style rifle through. He was through the bushes to the fence area, and you can get a look to see who's golfing there. But Secret Service was on top of it. They saw the gun and they fired, and he had pointed the gun at Secret Service, and that's where we at the state level were going to file state charges. You could file based on those facts for aggravated assault with a firearm, which, especially if you pointed at a Secret Service member, would be a second-degree felony punishable by up to 15 years in prison. And at the press conference today, I said that we were probably going to move first because the feds at that point had not announced that they were going to file the charges. They were still working on it. And we didn't want him to just be released. And so we were going to file the charges, or at least we were working on the warrants and to do pretrial detention. But then afterwards, the federal officials came in and they said they will be taking over the case. They will be filing the charges. So this is now entirely a federal matter, not a state matter.
I'll bet. I'm sure they want jurisdiction over this one. Do we know anything about the guy? Has he spoken, and has he been appointed counsel?
We don't know. There are videos of him on the internet. You see he was obsessed with Ukraine. He is someone who apparently lives in Hawaii, was the last time I checked. But he's not someone that I was familiar with. He's not a frequent flyer with our office. I was not familiar with him. So I don't have any other information about the guy. But yeah, it's gotten more serious now because the feds are involved. They are going to be filing the charges. They're going to keep him in pretrial detention. And the state, we're going to hold off on our warrants and our pretrial detention. We're going to defer to the feds.
Will he be appointed counsel, Dave, if he doesn't bring in one of his own?
If he can't afford a lawyer, yes, he'll be appointed counsel. It depends whether he can afford it. Of course, if he lives in Hawaii, generally it's not a state where you're indigent, especially you wonder how was he able to fly from Hawaii to South Florida. Usually it takes a lot of scratch to fly from Hawaii to South Florida. So there are a lot of open questions. He will be afforded a lawyer only if he can't pay for one.
Do we know if he had a job? Was this a working man?
No, I don't know that. I don't know that much about him other than he just has a lot of obsession on Ukraine and just had a lot of bizarre comments on social media, and just don't know beyond that.
There was some back and forth among smart people who are informed and connected to the Secret Service online about who shot first. Do we know? Do we know for a fact who shot first?
According to reports, it was Secret Service who shot. Unless there's something out there that I'm not aware of. I'm not aware that he actually fired his weapon. It looks like Secret Service saw that.
Okay, so that's your latest.
Well, yeah, that's what I know. Unless you have some other information.
No, it was speculation. So I was trying to figure out whether there was something more we needed to know. Can you just explain, is it the case that you can drive up in your car and there's a chain link fence right there and you can go up to it, and if you wanted to stick a gun through it and potentially shoot somebody on the golf course, you could?
Yeah, so you have to realize the golf course, Trump International Golf Course, it's a beautiful course, but it is not next to Mar-a-Lago. It is in West Palm Beach. It's near a strip club and the jail. In fact, the jail overlooks the golf course. You have inmates there, sometimes making noise while you're teeing off. And it's guarded by a fence all around it. And then there's a big hedge, a bush, where you can't see in it. But could someone walk through the bush and then in the fence point a gun? Yes. In fact, you've seen pictures of former President Trump golfing from people who did just that. They just didn't point a gun or anything, but they pointed a camera. So it's happened before. But the Secret Service, to their credit, was on this one. They were able to see someone with a rifle sticking out. And, that could be hard to do because it's a large area around the golf course. And so they obviously did a really good job noticing this.
Did you talk to the cops who were involved in this guy's apprehension at all?
I did not. I spoke to the sheriff and we had that press conference, but no, The sheriff was pretty forthcoming with what happened, how there was a good Samaritan who saw it and then gave information to the Secret Service, and then the chase was on. The guy apparently drove all the way to Martin County. Martin County is about 40 minutes north of Palm Beach County. So he got up there and then was apprehended without incident. Yeah, by the sheriff's deputies up there in Martin County, and then is on the way back here to Palm Beach County.
How did they find him in Martin County?
Just regular traffic stop. They
really?
They were on the lookout for that car. I don't know if they had the license plate, but they had the description of the car, and they're able to find him and pull him over.
Was he on the same? He was on 95 North, Dave? Is that where he got pulled over?
You know, I don't know exactly where he's pulled over, but he did take 95 North. I don't know exactly where the pullover spot was.
Is that remarkable to you that he just kind of went north as opposed to pulling off on one of the exits and, lying low in some smaller neighborhood?
You know, Megyn, it's my experience when you're dealing with people who are not of total sound mind that they do crazy things, like just drive north thinking they're going to get out of the state of Florida. That's like another 8-hour drive. So it doesn't make sense to you or me, but, we don't go around pointing AK-47s at, prominent individuals because we disagree with their politics. And in fact, he made a statement on Twitter that said about how, the Russia's actions against Ukraine was totally evil, and this was good versus evil. But yet he couldn't decipher that trying to assassinate someone would also be evil. I just, it doesn't make any sense.
Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.